Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Maker's Viewpoint podcast. This is episode 7. My name is Dylan from the YouTube channel Wood Brew, and I'm joined, as always, by Chris from Toolify
Hey, everybody.
and Justin from You Can Make That.
Hey, everyone.
Yeah, guys, so what have you been up to? What have you been up to, Chris?
Not very much this week. I have been doing some much needed cleanup and maintenance of things, cleanup of the shop, getting some things fixed up, and some housework. So nothing too exciting in the woodworking world, but I will be getting my 360 camera up and running, hopefully this week, and look for perhaps some live streaming of a future project in 360. So yeah,
That's be pretty cool.
That'll be super cool.
Yeah, that'd be really, really cool. You talked about a few episodes ago how you were going to mount it above your main workbench, right? So you could get the entire shop in one central point.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's the plan.
That's gonna be pretty cool. I haven't worked on too much stuff. I realized the old drill press that I picked up, the the post drill, the table on it has been re-welded, the part that actually clamps, and that weld was done very, very badly. So it cracked and the table kind of fell. So I'm going to have a friend weld that for me because I don't have a welder. But other than that, those projects have been like on hold. So I haven't done too much this week. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Dylan, what about you? Cast iron?
Yeah. It was cast iron, really old. So it's been sitting outside for years and rusted away. So it just, any sudden jolt probably from me just setting it down.
Y'all may already know, but y'all know that y'all have to heat that up to weld it. Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying.
Because I learned that the hard way.
I learned that from watching Alec and Steele on YouTube. I had no idea about that. I thought you could just take two pieces of metal, touch them, and weld them. But no, I did some research because before I went and asked my friend, I didn't want to sound like a complete idiot. So I did a few research, learned some cool terms, and then asked him. So.
That's funny.
Yeah. Dylan, what are you working on? Or what did you work on?
Yeah, so I'm not super busy in the shop. At least I haven't really built anything. We leave for San Francisco in 2 days. So tomorrow is our last day. We have a lot to do. Podcast is over. I will probably be spending the rest of the night finishing cleaning up the shop and the rest of my office and stuff before I leave. But yeah, that's pretty much what I've been doing all day is cleaning. So we have like an extra 10 by 30 underneath my back porch. The back porch is part of the house, so it's got a full roof over it, so it's fully covered. So we have like it paved under there, and that's where I keep a lot of my welders and metalworking stuff. But it's been just a junk pile for the longest time, and I haven't been able to get down there and work on it or work on anything down there. So Molly and I got that pretty much all cleaned up today. We had just a ridiculous amount of this oak that we got in the shop, which was taking up a bunch of space. So we cleaned up under there, and that allowed us to actually bring some down there into that space and get it out of the regular shop. So plans to start or hopefully finish a coat rack tomorrow. It's the coat rack that I've been talking about a lot on this podcast that I don't know if I mentioned, but the footage was lost, so we have to refilm most of it, but it's pretty much the whole thing. So I'm debating on whether to film up to the part that we have or just refilm the whole thing because I don't remember the flow that we had going then, and that's kind of important to match shots and stuff. So I'm not sure how we're going to complete that. I'm not sure how we're going to complete it tomorrow because it requires glue ups, and so I'm thinking I may use some CA glue instead. And I realize that it won't be like the strongest of all things, but we've already built the one that we actually had to build, and that one's already gone. So if this one's not as strong, it'll be okay. Yeah, so that's really what I've been up to. Some sort of exciting news. WD-40 finally got back to me, and we're a go on, I think, 5 videos. It's 4 or 5 videos. I can't remember. So we'll be doing one of those a month for the next couple, or for the next few months. I'm still not 100% sure exactly what it is I'm doing, so I can't tell you what the first video will be, but yeah, and it's not like fully in the bag. We still have a little bit of contract stuff to work out, but at least it's pretty much, it's been approved. It's been approved by the branding team, so we're good. Yeah, not a whole lot going on, just really preparing to head to Makers Fair in San Francisco. Sort of like really, I don't know, I like all of a sudden am nervous. I've never been to the West Coast, and I've never been. It's not that I'm nervous about going over there or the travel itself, but there's a lot of moving parts with this trip. We do travel a lot, but this trip involves a car getting to the airport, which is an hour away at 3 a.m. It involves a plane getting to San Francisco in time so we can pick up a car to drive 2 hours to where we're staying. And then it also involves like 2 other places we're staying during it. So like there's a lot of moving parts that actually misalign, which is not the end of the world, but I just don't want to end up driving to where we're staying in the middle of the night in a place we've never been. So
Yeah.
a little bit nervous about that, or anxious, I guess I should say. But yeah, not a whole lot going on. All right, guys, what are we talking about? What's this podcast about?
All right. Well, we're going to try to talk about originality and how that plays out for us in the YouTube space or any creative role. We, as content creators, more or less, we strive to make original content, original, unique content. That's for one, to keep our own sanity and creativity satisfied. But, you know, if we do something too similar to somebody else and we put that out on YouTube, we will get sometimes a negative response from our audience. So this question of what if you're not the first to make something? How do you deal with it? And what do you do perhaps to put a spin on what you do that makes it original? Anyway, I'm not going to go into the details now. First, we're going to start by simply defining what it is that originality means to us. So, yeah, Justin.
Yeah, I would say, excuse me, I would say my personal opinion on what originality means is putting your own spin on something, whether it being whatever you do, making it in your own form. So it's, I wouldn't say slightly different. I would say different enough that no one's really seen it too much before, but yet it still has the same principle as the other things. That would be my interpretation of originality. I'm not saying to be original, you have to do everything from scratch, like no one's ever seen it before. It has to be like, holy cow, I've never thought of that. Like, how have I never thought of that? Yes, those are pretty cool, but when I think of originality, I think of putting your own spin on something. Dylan, what do you think when you think of originality?
I have sort of mixed feelings about on what kind of creator you are. Like, I think I totally agree with you in some sense, Justin, but like if you were to apply that concept to, say, like a painter, so a painter makes the same painting but with different colors, that would be weird, or that would be true. Like, that's not original. But I feel like definitely, like, as far as woodworking goes, that's pretty much what it has resulted to. I mean, woodworking has been around for since we've existed, pretty much. That's the main source of building. That's where it kind of all started. And so it's hard to find a super original idea unless you're making like a technological advance, because there's been a gazillion tables made, and who knows, if your table is even truly original. It probably isn't. There's probably not a single table that hasn't been made. Obviously, dimensions and stain color and size, there's variations, but as far as like stylistic choices, technologically advanced, like maybe it turns into something, or maybe it can move in a unusual way, then yeah, it could probably be original. So my thoughts of originality are like you said, Justin, as far as woodworking goes, and content creation, and what I do is sort of making sure the idea came up in your head without directly looking at something, because obviously the ideas that you have in your head come from things you've seen. So let's say you're browsing Pinterest, or you're going through a furniture store, and this could have been 2 years ago. Well, part of your brain stores that piece of that furniture or whatever it is you're making, like that detail that you like, so that maybe you bring little parts and pieces of 15 different tables to make your own original table. And you may find that that table you made from 15 other tables has already been made. But my thoughts of originality are that the idea came to you with multiple inspirations, and not not like I saw this table in a magazine, I'm going to build that table and I'm going to stain it differently, or I'm going to make it a different size. That's not super original to me. There's nothing wrong with that. I just don't think you should pass it off as original. I mean, I will totally say I make probably half of the furniture that we've made for clients has not been fully original, or has not been original at all. Most of the earlier ones that we did were straight off Pinterest or straight out of a magazine. And we, fulfilled the duty of creating that for someone. But I wouldn't feel comfortable posting on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube saying, like, check out this one of a kind custom whatever that I built, if it wasn't fully original. Hope that makes sense. I just think that, just to sum it up, that originality, even if you're doing something the same as somebody else, as long as it came into your head without directly looking at the thing in front of you and saying, oh, I'm just going to recreate that, then it's original. Yeah. There's just too many things that have been made, too many things that have been done for you to fully have an original idea. And it's not a cop-out answer. I'm not saying that because I'm not capable of creating original ideas. I'm just saying that in a sense of what I do. It's very, very difficult to do that unless you're making a game-changing innovation. Just like I said, there's a million tables, there's a million dressers, Someone could probably, even if you can't find it, even if you can't find one that's exactly like what you've made, somebody probably can, and they'll probably call you out on it.
And yet I have to give
What about you, Chris?
I have to hold on. I was going to say I have to give people so much credit for who can create stuff perfectly original, right, that no one's ever thought of.
Yeah.
Right. Like, people do this for a living, sometimes for jobs, and I give them so much credit because my mindset, I can't do that. I always have to get inspiration from looking at other ideas.
Yep.
Yeah, Chris, sorry about that.
Yeah. No, no worries. And that's I think that's what it is. What you guys said pretty much is really consistent with my feelings on it, especially when your intent is not to find a project and copy it just to sort of like rip something off, then the reality is that is original. I mean, at least the way I would define it. But you get into the technical definition of innovation, and if we assume innovation equals originality, then it can become very limiting, because at some point, like, and I'm not saying I believe this, but to be that level of original, it's like you would need to you basically need to patent you need to have the ability to patent everything you make in order to be able to say, hey, I am 100% original. And that's almost, it's a very unrealistic expectation. subconsciously we are influenced by things that we see, and oftentimes our ideas will be combinations of existing ideas. You know, originality. It's hard to define. Like the trick, the thing really here is what happens when you do come up with something completely within your own head and you build it, and maybe you film a video of it, and then you're there hitting the publish button on YouTube, because that's what we do. And you decide to search up if somebody has made that thing before, and you end up finding a match, be it on YouTube or some other website. What is the ethical thing to do at that point? Do you want me to answer
Yeah, I'll
that?
take this. I'll take it. So this has happened on multiple occasions. I'll give one example, and that's the pegboard bed that Molly and I recently did. So Molly was inspired by a picture she had seen, or a video, I can't remember, that she had seen of basically the oversized pegboard concept scaled way down. It was just like basically for a desk, more or less. And so we had this idea. We proposed this idea to the mattress company that we were working with at the time, and we had about a buffer of about a month and a half or so before we actually were able to start building it. Well, literally, as we're editing the video for it, Lynn from the Darwin Orver channel, she on her Instagram a project that she was about to release, and it was basically a set of shelving for her office space that was exactly like what we were doing, just on a smaller scale. So that was, especially as being as how large a channel is, that was very like scary of like, oh man, like she's about to post this, and then I don't know, 2 weeks later we're going to be posting this bed that's pretty much identical, but it's totally original. We've never seen anything like it anywhere. We had the inspiration of using the pegboard idea to make it into this whole thing. But so what I actually ended up doing was I sent her a message and was like, look, I was like, I don't even know if this is gonna step on your toes at all. Like, I don't know if you even care, but I just want to show you what we're working on and let you know that this video is coming out like 2 weeks after you're posting this, and just give you a heads up. I'm not, obviously we didn't, like mean to take it because, we couldn't have built the bed that fast, but I just let her know. I literally just let her know, like, hey, we're posting this and it's very similar to yours. We had no intention, like whatever. And she was just straight up like, oh my gosh, that's awesome. Like that's like super cool or whatever. Let me know whenever it's out. I want to check it out. So I think it's, as long as if you can see it coming, or even if it's already been, find it later, if it all possible, you message that person who created it and been like, look, I had no idea that you had made this. I just want to let you know it's coming out. I'm still going to post it, but just as a heads up so that you don't start seeing it in comment sections and be like, what is all this? Let me go find who this person is or whatever, because that's the way that stuff starts happening, is like 6 months from now, she would end up seeing it in the comment section like, oh, so-and-so ripped you off by making this bed. And they had just seen the video, so it looks like we came out with the video like the other day. And then that's when I think things get maybe not mad, but just a little bit, they can get out of control easier that way. Whereas if you let the person know, even if you don't actually get in contact with them, by reaching out to them and letting, like, at least trying to say, hey, just to let you know this video came out. If you see anything, we had no intention, just, whatever. I think that's a good way to approach it.
You're 100% right, and I totally wish I did that on one of my videos. I did a T-track workbench, and I didn't use one of the other YouTubers, who's Stumpy Nubs. I didn't use his actual design. I just saw his video, thought that was really cool, and kind of did my own spin on it. It's very similar, and some of his ideas in it were great. But after I was done editing it, I realized I completely forgot to put his name in it, or even drop a hint saying his name. And this was after I posted to YouTube. I didn't even think about it because I was trying to hit a deadline for a company. And I don't know why, and I never reached out to him, and I feel like I definitely should have. And I feel terrible about it, right? Because I'm sure, I know for a fact he's seen it, and I feel bad because he's probably thinking, look, this kid totally just ripped off my design, is getting a bunch of views off of it, and didn't even bother to mention me at all. Or if anything, he could be totally fine with it. I don't know. But I know if it was me, I would be a little upset if someone I knew saw my content and then was producing as their own, but not I would say it's a form of respect, Dylan, like what you were saying, just reaching out, because the last thing you want to do is upset people in the community, not intending to, or the last thing you want to do is upset people without realizing you're doing it. So I feel like I totally should have reached out to him, and I don't know why, I just never did.
I think that's an important lesson just in life. I see it all the time where people, just don't directly, they either have a problem with or directly talk to the person that there could be a possible problem with. Because a lot of times if you just say it up front, even like I said, I had no intentions of, like, if she came back, which she's awesome, so she'd probably never do this, but if she came back and was like, oh yeah, you're a total rip off, whatever, I still would have posted the video. Mm-hmm. I would have felt okay that I had let her know that, you know what I mean? And even if someone still gets mad, at least I didn't get mad about it and have to like search and find it. Because then, like, when you allow it to blow up, that's when it becomes a big deal. Whereas if those comments start coming in and someone just ignores them because they already know what they're talking about, actually feeding the fire or whatever, I don't know. Because she may have not even known who we were, and someone could have commented and been like, so-and-so's ripping you off over here. And she could have been like, oh, what? That's not cool. And without even knowing who we are or what it is we did, and then that feeds the fire. Yeah. And then she may have been totally cool with it after that or whatever, So I think it's important to do that in life, I guess. But I totally agree with what you're saying too about like just respect, because I know, like, it's hard for me. We were talking about this before the show. I did this barn door hardware, which is totally free to the public. Like, I have all the details in the video. In fact, you really shouldn't need plans to build it. Like, I included everything to be able to build it, but I still sold a lot of plans for how to build it more in detail and stuff like that. And I see it used really frequently. And it was, especially at the time of when I posted it, which was, I don't know if it was quite a year ago, but it was sometime during that, it was the only hardware like it on the internet. I could not find it anywhere, nor have I had any feedback that it's not original. And I see it constantly being used, especially like on Instagram, is like that. And they're using like pretty much, or not pretty much, identically the same exact wheels that I got from the same place, and like everything about it's the same, and they don't give me any credit for it, which I don't feel, I got kind of mixed feelings about it, because in some ways, if it's someone that doesn't know me and is literally just watched the video, I don't care. I mean, that's their thing. They saw the video. They probably don't even remember where they saw it to give credit back to. But it gets me when it's someone like in the community that will like use it and then not say anything about it. You know what I mean? Anytime we've done anything,
and you've talked to.
Yeah, that I've talked to, that I've, yeah. because I've had people like I had somebody post about it one time. They made, and this is someone like who sells them. He was selling them or something like that, and he posted something like just finished the local client, like not trying to sell it through Instagram, but just showing what he had made or whatever to the community. And it was my hardware, and I knew he had bought it because his name is in the title, and I went and looked back at my customer history or whatever. So I knew he had bought it, and he like hadn't given me any credit for it. And there was people like probably 5 people in the comments like, "Whoa, where did you get the hardware? Where did you get the hardware? Where did you get the hardware?" And he literally was like, and almost every single one said, "Oh, I made it from scratch. Isn't it cool?" Like, really more or less bragging about it. Which if he hadn't done that, I just wouldn't have cared. I wouldn't have bothered. But I posted a link to my video there. And I was like, if y'all want to learn how to build this hardware, you can go right here and figure it out. Mainly because I was pissed off. And he got like super mad, like really mad, and like started DMing me like all this crazy stuff. And I'm like, bro, like you're selling these things, and you bought plans for me for $5. You made $5 like so fast. Like it's not even, you know what I mean? Like I've made you money on this, and you can't give me the
that's the least you could do is just drop your name. Yeah.
In the comments, like not in the like
not even in the video,
not in like the full description, but like where people are asking, like wanting to know how to build it, you're gonna sit there and be like, "Oh, I can't tell you. It's a secret. I'm building it from scratch and all this stuff." Yeah, I got rubbed the wrong way about that for sure. But like I said, if he had not done anything, including not responded to those people, I would have blown it off. But when I saw him like taking credit for it, I then went and looked back at my history and found out that he had bought them. Mm-hmm. And that's when it gets to the point where it rubs me the wrong way.
Yeah. Chris, we have asked you, what do you feel about that?
I guess we're all guilty of at some point. I'm going to go back to the earlier discussion of making a video and then finding out that somebody else has done something similar before you, and I did this once with a and this is where we're giving those people credit now, right? So Stumpy Nubs, James Hamilton, right? That's his name. You got to send him this podcast.
So I will. That we care. I will. And I just goes back again. Sorry to cut you off, but what Dylan said, real life situations. I've had this for jobs. I don't know why something came over me, and I just won't reach out, knowing that I should, knowing it's the right thing. I'm not doing it to be like, I'll show them. It's just I don't know. I don't know if I'm embarrassed about it.
Yeah, no, it takes effort. I know what to do.
Yeah,
it's like,
and I've thought about this for months, and it's been over a year. I don't know why I have yet to do it. I don't know why in some mindset I'm gonna like meet him in person and be like, hey, no hard feelings. But it's like, if anything, that just makes it worse. It's better to be upfront and say it than not to.
Yeah, I know. Like you want it to be ideal when you go, and whether it's become friends again or sort of apologize. This isn't really like, it's not like you've done anything bad, but it's sort of just you want to have that ideal experience of explaining yourself and sort of having a laugh over it. And it's tricky to do that, because I am guilty of this too. It's like we keep going back to this topic of overanalyzing, where you keep thinking about how to do something, and that only makes it like worse, not only for you, because you're thinking about it, you're consuming time, but and then you're not getting the thing done that you want to do. So I guess the lesson here is email anyway, and sooner rather than later. I don't know. Sorry.
No, don't apologize.
I have been blessed / cursed with the ability to like be 100% upfront with people, to where most people I say this in bigger crowds. I'm not as much like this, and like don't. I try not to be like. I try not to sound like a, you know what, but like I'm just super upfront with people, and I tell people like exactly the way I think about situations.
Straight up.
Because I mean, I feel like if someone is asking you for something, they're not looking for you to agree with them. They're looking for you to like actually give them feedback.
Yeah.
And so even if it's like a very controversial topic, I tend to be very outspoken about like my opinion on it because I think that matters. I think that's the problem with most of our society. Nobody really wants to talk about it and like have an actual discussion about things. But so it ends up people either love me or hate me for it. You know, there's some people if they get offended really easily, they maybe not hate me, but they don't like to discuss anything else with me or whatever because I'll just tell them exactly the way I feel about it. But yeah, it's a double-edged sword for sure. I end up making friends or losing them over it. But I think it's important. I mean, maybe not to the extent of me, of what I do, because I honestly like I have to stop myself. I'm I'm trying to be better about it because I don't like offending people, but I like to get my opinion out about things. Um, so yeah, I mean, I feel like if y'all need to work on like being more outspoken, I need to work on like dialing it back for sure. So maybe I'll give some of it to y'all maybe.
So then,
Hopefully.
no. Perfect segue. So then I would like your opinion on this. Going back to the originality, I made a video recently on how to build a DIY Adirondack chair out of a wine barrel. Granted, there is only one other video that I've seen online that it's like step-by-step how to do it, and it's off these guys' plans. But you have to buy the plans to even see it. So his video was not very clear on how to do it. The only time I've seen these are in these chairs in person or just pictures of them. So not taking any measurements, but looking at a picture online and then completely doing your own measurements and your own 3D drawing and everything yourself. How do you give, what would you say? Is that original? Is it going off of something? How do you give credit for that? Because when people start commenting like, oh, I've seen this, oh, you're taking this off of blah, 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 or it's like, how do you reply to that? No, you're not. But at the same time, it can look identical to this person's. What would you say to that?
Well, see, I'm just going to jump in really quick and say that in cases like that, like there might be those one or two or a handful of people that say they have seen this before, but then I'm sure that there will be a larger number, a disproportionately larger number of people that say, wow, this is really cool, and they'll be seeing it for the first time. And if you hadn't made that video, like I would not have seen that chair if you had not made that video. So I actually like
because I can't really say like I'm inspired by anything, or I could say I'm inspired by this chair I saw, but then I can't give credit to who did that at first, right? If someone's like dropping credit for these names, how would we know that this particular person did it?
It's like, are we going to arrive at the conclusion that at the end of the day, we're all just copying each other and nothing is truly original?
Exactly.
Might be where we're
I think that's a really good point, Chris. I've never thought about it that way, but it is a really good point. But I will say my opinion on that. I don't think it's an original idea.
Yeah.
I've seen them other places.
Yeah, I don't think they're
Do I think it's really cool that you made it? Hell yeah. Like, that's awesome. Like, I wouldn't know where to start to even begin to do that. So if I was in your situation, I most definitely would have been probably searching and finding to figure out how someone else has done it. Because, well, I mean, that's half my business.
Yeah.
Is recreating things. Like I've said before, is that people come to me with, and I'm not usually one to carbon copy things, like big projects. Smaller projects you can't help. I mean, there's just only so much extra stuff you can put in it. But a lot of times I take like a really great idea, and then I put something cool. And I wouldn't say it's an original idea. Like I don't go that far with a twist, but I don't know, add like a a track to run cables or something through it, or like just make their idea cooler.
Yeah.
But no, like, are you kidding me? I mean, I don't think it's original. I don't think you came up with it. I know you don't think you came up with it, but I don't think you're a bad person or like a ripoff because you made a video about making something really cool that I've only seen a handful of times ever in my life and have wondered every single time. Like, that looks incredibly difficult, and I don't think I ever would want to try that. Literally, I've seen different things made out of wine barrels, and I've been like, that looks insanely difficult. Like, I wouldn't know where to start.
Thank you.
So
I
yeah.
appreciate that. And that's honestly the thing too, is I had that exact same thought process because my friend Anthony came over to my house. He's like, my dad wants this, make it. And I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
where the hell do I start? Like, I don't even know how to take apart wine barrels. Okay. So then I YouTube that, and I'm like, because I don't want to do I cut the metal straps? And right, YouTube helped again. This dude just took a breaker bar and just kind of tapped the rings, and they just popped right off, and then everything just falls apart perfectly. And then it goes, okay, well then how do we actually start laying it out? And it was a lot of back and forth of, well, how steep do we want it? To how much do you want the angle? And then once you kind of get the angle, everything just kind of falls into place. Now knowing what I've done, it's super easy, but taking that first plunge to realize it, yes, I definitely, to my credit, to everyone else's credit, I definitely did do research trying to find it, but nothing was really coming up that much. So at the end of the day, I did just make my own design and own plans, but exactly like we were saying at the beginning, like what Chris was saying, we're all copying a little bit of everyone.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
that's
there-
the
there's
too. Like, I think a lot of people are like hypocrites for it. The people, like a lot of these people that you're talking about in the comments, like they're either people. Honestly, I think they're either people who don't have creativity themselves and have never really done anything creative and original, and they want to make themselves feel like other people aren't capable of doing that or whatever. I think that's like insanely difficult to be fully original. First of all, like fully original.
Oh yeah.
Even just taking like a great idea and putting a twist on it and making it even cooler, that's really difficult for most people. Like, I think if you look at our community, I mean, I could be wrong here, but there's only like, there's less than 1,000, I would think, of makers on YouTube that are like in this woodworking community that are like really like doing projects consistently, and but probably way less than that. Probably only like 200 or 300 that consistently do cool projects and stuff. Like, it's really difficult to do that. I don't think people give people enough credit for just like being able to make a lot of cool projects, period. I mean, like I said, I've from doing projects, I've been able to be more original. Like, when you start, you know how hard it is to even just figure out how things work and go together.
Oh yeah.
Once you start getting a grasp of like how things come together in general, then you can start making your own or ideas based around joinery techniques and other things that you've seen. Because like, even like for instance, Molly, I don't want to call her out on this, but like her big dilemma that she always has, like, and comes to me with help for, is like, where do I get started? You know, if you haven't built a lot or haven't seen a lot being built, how do you know how a cabinet goes together? You know, like what is too much support? What's too little support? What's efficient way to do this? Should it be 1/2 inch? Should it be 3/4 inch? Like, it's so difficult to become fully original. Like, you have to do a lot of other stuff to be able to get to the point where I think you could realistically be able to do that consistently. So I think people don't give enough credit for that, just in general.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. So if anything, I'm the opposite. I'm not necessarily the most original person, but if you give me a picture of something, I know where to. I'm that type of person that, right? You said Molly has a little bit of trouble finding out where to start. I'm the type of person that I won't know what to do, like what to come up with. But once someone gives me that, I'll know where to start. So I'm the complete opposite. Yeah. And that's just how I've always.
But I mean, it takes experience to get to that point.
Yeah.
Some people, I think, aren't necessarily born that way, but but have that sort of engineering sense behind them.
I think it's honestly
like
from
for me,
people just saying.
Yeah, you constantly, like you are probably like me, where I constantly look at things when I'm walking around in my house. How was this built? How did
Yeah.
they put that together? I
And
don't
that's
see
exactly what I was
any
going to say
joinery
is,
there.
yeah, I think I definitely got that way from people always telling me like, or better yet, like what you were saying. Yeah. I walk around and I stare at everything, right? And it annoys the crap out of my friends all the time because I'll look at
Yep.
something and they'll be having a random conversation and I'll just chime in about like, hey, do you know that works like that? And they'll just stare at me like, why? I didn't ask that, nor do I care about that. But that's just how my brain works. But no, I think I honestly, I think I'm like that from people so much around me who are always like, I don't know, like, why would I know what that is? And in my mind, I'm like, well, you should just be
Yeah.
observant. Just that's how I've always thought about things. I don't, but completely different
I
from
get
a lot of other people.
I get
Yeah.
myself in trouble for that because we'll be walking around and I'm staring at something and like I'll get into that, like I'm looking over here and then Molly's talking to me and I'm like, yeah, and then she like plays off of it and she'll be like, so I'm like, you're a girl. I'm like, yeah. Wait, what? And she's like, you're not even listening to me. And I'm like, did you see that giant building over there? Like, did you see how the awning is? That thing probably weighs like 20,000 pounds. Like, why would they do that?
It's always car rides with my parents. It's always car rides with my parents. My dad will be saying something and it'll be important, right? I'll be having a conversation with him and like today we were driving on our 101. I was going to say that you guys don't know what that is, but it's a highway. And there was a bed liner from a truck just like on the side of the road. My dad's talking to me about something like school wise. And I look at it and I totally get sidetracked. I'm like staring at it. And it reminded me of a video that I saw about the spray on bed liners. And I did the whole, yeah. Hey, Dad, did you know about the spray on bed liner, how strong they are, blah, 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 blah. And he's just like, I'm in the middle of talking to you. Like, you had what did I just say 4 seconds ago? I'm like, I don't know. It's not good.
Oh my gosh.
So then, okay, I guess I'll ask both of you guys this quick question. In one of my videos, like I said, I take a lot of ideas from other people. I like putting my own twist on it and stuff. Not because I'm like, I'm going to do a better version of it, but because I think it's cool. And I think what they did was they did a really good job on their thing, and I want to try and make it. So in one of my videos, not one of the best ones, I made little pallet drink coasters. And this was like 3 years ago. Okay, little youngling. And then I said, I got this idea from blank, and then I said, his idea is a little bit different than mine. Would you word it saying his idea is a little different than mine, or my idea is a little different than his?
Yes.
So
I
it
would
could
have
go
said it
both
like
ways.
that.
It could go both. Oh, the second one.
I would have said, no, I would have said my idea is a little bit different than his. Or I thought of, I don't know. That's
looking
weird.
back at it, I should have said it that
just
way.
Depends on.
Don't
Because I
It
saw
just
his
depends on
video.
who's reading it.
Yeah, because I saw his video, and I'm like, oh, that's really cool. So I'm getting my idea from his video. So I should be like, my idea is a little bit different than his. But then by saying his idea is a little different than mine, it makes it think, or in my mind, I think that I'm switching it, right? That I was the one that came up with it, and he's taking it off of mine. I don't know. That's what I've
And
always
that's the
thought.
thing. Like someone that thinks like you will think that, but then someone who thinks like me would think the opposite. So you can never please everybody with words, for sure.
True. Words of all things, yeah. That's why now I do voiceovers where you don't see me talking in front of the camera a lot, because my older videos, I would literally talk while I'm doing the stuff. So if I have this footage of me drawing on something or like drilling something, I would be talking behind the camera the whole time. So if I screw up saying something, I would either have to delete the whole audio out of that footage or just not even use that clip. Because I would say things that are so stupid that should not have been said in the video that make no sense whatsoever, replaying in my head, saying it out loud. I'm like, oh yeah, everyone knows what I'm talking about. And then looking back at it, I'm like, this makes no sense whatsoever.
Yeah. Tricky, because at the same time, it's you get more connection with the camera and FaceTime, right, when you are speaking to the camera, but
yeah,
can't always have the best of both worlds.
like I always envy people that can do it so perfectly without a script, right? Like I know obviously they will take multiple takes talking in front of the camera. Like a great example, this is Alec and Steele, his channel. I don't the way he just I don't know, his whole videos I think are awesome. First off, the content he makes is great, but he's so smooth when talking to the camera about the ideas he's doing. He sounds super intelligent when he's doing it too, but it almost looks like one take, right? He'll be doing something and he'll walk up to the camera, say a perfect sentence about what he's doing, and then walk right back, keep doing what he's doing. Like if I tried doing that, I'd be doing something, walk up to the camera, say something really stupid, make no sense, walk away, edit it, and then realize that didn't make any sense whatsoever. Like I always envy people that can make it sound perfectly, or don't even use a script a lot of the times. I'm super impressed by that.
Yeah, it's hard to see the reality behind the scenes, I guess. That's the caveat there.
I have a question for you. I already asked you this question, but I wanted to say it on here. So I'm going on this trip, and I got to play with someone's fidget spinner in Atlanta. And I was like, man, this thing's actually kind of cool. I was like, before that, I was like, oh, I don't really get the point of this. But I'm like a foot tapper, so like I'm sitting there and there's nothing going on, and like my whole leg's shaking, and I'm always like going crazy because she doesn't like any like little noise or anything. It drives her nuts. I'm like, this little fidget spinner, this is cool. I was like, man, this thing, I don't know, I think I kind of like one of these. So now I'm thinking about like these next 4 hours on a plane coming up, in 2 days. And I'm like, I really kind of want a fidget spinner. And then I got to thinking, I was like, what could I do that would be cool to make a fidget spinner? And I was like, well, I'm going to have to take the bearings out of the old skateboard, so why not make it from the skateboard that I'm taking it out of? Like, actually cut it from the deck. Because the deck is like multi-plied, and each ply is like a different color, so it'll look really cool. But then I was like, man, I think I've pretty much already said this before, but I'm not sure if I should do this. I'm like, I don't know what the repercussions would be of me doing a fidget spinner video, because they're so mainstream right now, and that, like, I don't know, they're almost laughable at how many people are doing them, but they're doing so well. And it's not that I'm doing it for that reason. And that's honestly the reason why I'm so nervous to do it, because I'm like, I really don't want to be the guy who posts a fidget spinner video and gets a billion views. After I don't know what I don't know what I should do. If I should just make it and not video it. I need a video.
Because what Chris, it's funny because Chris and I said that I was one-sided on this, and Chris was the opposite. We were okay. We both kind of met in the middle, but I said originally off camera, I said you might get a lot of backlash because you said very clearly in a podcast that you don't see me quote making fidget spinners, because I don't want to be going with that whole trend because everyone else is. But at the same time, I'm totally up for that because I think that's really cool, but I just wouldn't post a video of it. And then Chris, you said on the other hand.
I pretty much said go for it. I pretty much said make it anyway. Don't worry about what other people think. I mean, part of the reason why I say that is lately with my own channel, I'm trying to take that approach more, like make stuff. Don't worry about what people think. Yeah. This is really leading up to a question where we can say, does the expectation for originality slow you down, stop you from making a video or making projects? Because you can probably come up with an example where it's like you made this one video and a lot of people saw it, but then it affected one of those viewers in a very deep way. And I don't want to come up with a very specific example at this point, but like that can happen all the time, and it does happen. And then if you're just thinking all within your own head, oh, I don't know what like a few of those active commenters that say negative things are going to say about me when I release this video, like I would just say, forget all of that. Don't worry about it. If you're passionate about it, which you clearly are, right? It sounds like you are excited about this idea, then go ahead and make it. That passion will come through on video. And it's what, I mean, I'm saying this out loud, but I'm saying this to myself at the same time because I'm trying to adopt this philosophy going forward.
And how you just worded that.
I think you're totally right.
Yeah, no, I agree, because if you think about it, what I just said is the reason why, and I do this all the time myself, the reason why creators aren't making as much content is because they're overthinking what their audience will react like, right?
Yes.
I mean, I do that all the time. I don't film half the stuff I make because I'm like, oh, people are going to be like, oh, that's stupid, or just going to judge me on it. And then I totally just did that to you. So I'm like, no, don't film it.
And I'm totally contradicting myself, because in one of the last podcasts, I was telling Chris, I was like, because he was saying something about making sure your content is in line with your channel. And I was like, man, screw it. Like, make what you want to make. It's your channel. Like, don't worry about what other people think. Like, it's your channel for a reason. So yeah, I guess I should do it. I mean, it's funny. It's funny that we think that way, because honestly, the most negativity I've gotten from a video is when I built the workbench and we made the video more like cinematic and more current tasting to hopefully like a younger generation. And that's hopefully kind of like what our game plan is for Wood Brew, is to sort of make it more current, make it more hip, hopefully to sort of inspire and make it more interesting for younger people. But people ate us up about that music. Like, the whole comment section is like, this is the worst effing music I've ever heard in my life. Like, why in the world would you ever put this music in here? Why would you not use Mozart? You'd get 1 million views if you used Mozart. I'm like, but then you look at the likes versus the dislikes of the video, and it's like 96% of the people liked the video, and it's our second best video. It's done the best, almost the best one on our channel. And so you look at it and you're like, all that negativity, even though it's like the most I've ever seen on anything, it's still one of the best videos on our channel, and the one that we're actually like known for. I mean, most people, when they come up to think, it's about that video. It's like that workbench. So I think you're right. I think you just got to roll with the punches and make what you want to make.
That's funny. What's funny you said about the music is because every time now I hear that, and I know exactly which episode you're talking about, when I hear other people use that in their videos, I just actually like crack a smirk, because I'm like, because I know how irritated people got in the comments about that song. So now whenever I hear it, and I have heard it in like 7 other videos recently, just randomly, like sporadically from random channels, I'll just be like, I know the song, and it irritated a lot of people. And I know Dylan feels this way about it, so I don't know. I think that's
because you brought this up. What do you? I don't know if you guys use the iMovie or iLife like sound effects and mini jingles and stuff, but those, I mean, that's easily accessible, royalty-free music to a lot of people, and I come across a lot of videos that use intro music from there, or outro, like, you know, or like random sound effects, and they're pretty recognizable, and I use them myself, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but it's very how to say, it's very eerie when you're watching a video and then the sound pops up and you've heard it before, but it sounds good. Like the music. I mean, I like most of those little mini recordings there.
Yeah, I always think it's funny too. Like when I was younger and I would watch videos, I would hear it as songs, something like that. I'm like, I know what you used to edit, or something like that, because I would just be like, I know exactly what they use, because I used to use it. So yeah, I think that's pretty funny.
Yeah,
I think you're right. I think I'm gonna make it.
All right,
it's gonna go up.
In the comment section, in our live stream, they're all saying
discuss this. It'll be 2 podcasts from now, or 1 podcast from now, because there's one in between these that was pre-recorded. but we'll talk
I'm gonna hold
about
this
the
against you.
results.
I'll hold this against you. If you don't make it, we're all gonna get mad at you then.
Yeah.
I think, but I've got a good idea. I've got an idea to make the video less of like, let's get 1 million views off this video and make it more like, this is just a cool one. So,
And I feel like a quick thing to add about the music thing too is it's funny because you don't realize it, but you get so used to hearing the same song in people's videos that if they subtly change it,
yeah.
you automatically notice. Like instantly, you're like, what happened? Where'd it go? Like King of Random, I used to watch his videos all the time, and I would know his intro every time. I would know his intro music, and he changed it. I think in one of the episodes, and you'd be amazed how many he had to make a whole video about why he changed the music because people like lost it. They're like, this is not okay, and I think it's ridiculous. It's like, but you don't realize how tuned you become to it. I think it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
I think I want to make this video like super personal, like almost vlog style, because I haven't done one like that.
That'd be pretty
Not
cool.
really, to play around with that sort of style for a video. I just think it would be interesting. I think it would be an interesting concept,
Personally,
especially for small builds, something that's real simple.
I was gonna say personally, I like those styles. Like if it's not necessarily really long and lengthy build, and it's kind of small.
Yeah.
I like those where it's like they're doing the steps, right? They'll be cool, show it, and then they'll have a time where it's like a vlog, right? They're talking to it, they're going over what they did. They're talking about like in the middle of it why they did it this way, and then they keep working on it. I don't know. I just personally as a viewer, I like that better. I feel like it's more in touch with the viewers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about like making it almost like a vlog sort of. We'll see. I don't know how much time I'll have. I literally it's probably unrealistic, but we'll see. We'll see how much time I have.
Do it. Now you got to do it. No, you said it. You got to do it. You have a day.
Yeah.
How cool if I was able to go to the skate park, skate the skateboard, right, and break the deck and be like, well, crap, I broke the deck. Now what am I going to do? Let's make a fidget spinner out of it.
Could you take your track saw and make a score in the bottom of it just enough so if you went off something, it would snap it?
The board I have that I'm going to use has it's been cracked, but it's still together. You can't tell it's been cracked. So yeah, if I just did anything on it, it would probably break, like fully in half. That would be kind of cool.
I'm going to look forward to seeing this video now. Yeah, because of this.
What do you think about that? You like that?
I like it. I definitely and do it the vlog style. I think that's gonna be really, really cool.
Yeah, it sounds good. Sounds like a good plan.
Well, I think that wraps up this episode. I think we're nearing the end right now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Oh man, this is gonna be a crazy next week.
Like we said earlier.
Justin's gonna be there, so we'll have some good stories to bring back.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully not bad stories.
Yeah. If we don't start making podcasts after that meetup, you'll know why. Didn't end up pretty well. But like we said for next week, we're gonna have a pre-recorded one, pre-recorded podcast because we'll all be gone except for Chris. Sorry, Chris.
Yeah.
All right, dudes. We'll catch you later.
Definitely. Wait, real quick, Dylan, where can we find you? Social medias.
Oh yeah, we're terrible about this. We need to have something written down for the
so not professional.
We also have to thank our Patreons, man. We got a new Patreon, but we have to thank Devin for sure because he's our top Patreon as always and really great guy. You can add Wood Brew anything, especially Instagram. We're posting a lot on Instagram these days. And if you want to see the ridiculous comments on the fidget spinner video, you should go check that out too.
Chris,
be out?
You can
it should
find
better
be out by the time this out.
It better be.
Yeah, it will be.
You can find me under Toolify on YouTube and toolify.ca. Justin.
You can find me on all social medias, Justin Levine, and then on YouTube, my channel name's Justin Levine, or you can make that. And I know if you are listening to this and you are coming out to Maker Faire, we'd love to meet up with you. Definitely, please come say hi to us. I think that's really cool. It's kind of surreal.
Absolutely.
When we meet people that are like, "Hey, I watched your video." I think that's one of the coolest feelings. So definitely come say hi, please.
Go listen to our Atlanta show.
Yeah.
Get some tips there. Don't be afraid to go talk to your favorite creators if you're going to be there. They'll make it cool. No, they're not. It's not going to be awkward. Go talk to them.
Oh yeah,
you won't regret it.
We went over that really well in that episode actually about when you think it's going to be awkward versus not. Okay, on that note, nice talking to you all. See you guys next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thanks for listening.